Hello there everyone, and welcome to another tutorial with Beads Jar. I'm Natalia and I'm going to be showing you how to make this romantic open heart pendant, especially for Valentine's Day, but not just to be worn for Valentine's Day. It looks beautiful all year round. We're going to be using a fabulous statement piece heart pendant, and we're going to be wire wrapping some Swarovski pearls, Swarovski bicones, and I'm going to also show you how to make your own veil for this using Swarovski pearls. I'm going to finish it with this beautiful chain that has already been beaded, and it makes a really beautiful piece of jewellery. So let's have a look and see what are the components you're going to need to make this heart pendant. So here are the components that you'll need to make our romantic open heart pendant. The main component is this platinum open heart link pendant. This is 60mm, so it's platinum coloured, it's not platinum material, but it's really beautiful quality. And so that's going to be the main centerpiece of our pendant. And then we have some Swarovski pearl beads. We've got 3mm beads here in white. Then we have some 8mm Swarovski pearl beads in powder rose colour, and I've used one of those. Oh no, sorry, that's the 10mm bead in rosaline pink, sorry, and I've used one of those in the piece. These are the powder rose ones. We've got some 8mm Swarovski pearls. And then we also have some Swarovski pearls in grey, and these are 6mm. Then we have some in cream colour, 6mm. Next we have some bicones, and these are 6mm clear crystal bicones. And then we have some 4mm crystal bicones as well in the clear. You're going to need some wire for this project, and I'm using 0.4mm gauge wire. And for this wire wrapping on this pendant, I'm using 2/3 of a metre there, I've just cut off. And to string your pendant, you're going to need some of this rosary chain. So it comes already wire wrapped loops with the little clear crystal beads in between. That comes in a metre long length, and you're going to need a lobster claw clasp and a jump ring to connect it together. So now that we've got all of the materials we need, let's have a look at the tools. So you're going to need some wire cutter pliers, some chain nose pliers, and also some nylon jaw pliers to just keep straightening your wire as you go through. Okay, let's get started. So our first step is to take the open heart pendant, and to take one of the ends of your wire. I'm just going to take this little short piece, and you can start anywhere you wish on this pendant. It really doesn't matter. For some reason I'm attracted to starting up here, so that is where I will begin. So I'm leaving about 4 or 5 centimeters of wire there, and I'm wrapping it around, and this is where your chain nose pliers will come in really handy, because you want to get this very tight. So you're just going to keep wrapping that wire around, that first little bit of the wire, 3 or 4 times, and then just turn it over. Take that little piece of wire and flatten it down at the back like that. Squeeze those up together, and then that makes it securely attached, and we're ready to begin threading our beads onto this heart. So whichever way you prefer working, whether you like to go in a clockwise or an anti-clockwise direction, it's entirely up to you. I always like to go in an anti-clockwise direction, so that is the direction I'm going to go in. Now you can see already, just as I was maneuvering the wire around, it got a little bit kinked there. So this is where your nylon jaw pliers are going to come in handy all the way through this project. So just very gently going to tease that back into shape and flatten it out. Now if at any time you're pulling the wire and it does break, it's really easy to just get back started again. Just wrap your wire around it and it gets disguised by all the beads that are on here. So it's a really easy project to do, and it's literally your imagination that creates this pendant. Now I want to begin with one of the bigger pearls. So this is the 10mm pearl. I'm just threading that onto the end of my wire. I'm going to take it all the way down to the base and onto the pendant. And then I'm just going to leave a little bit of wire here, because obviously if I take it flat down, the wire is going to come up around the bead, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to allow it to sit like that, as though it's almost got like a pair of little arms reaching down onto the heart. So I'm going to take my wire underneath, holding on to the other side of the pearl. Just pull it around. And then I'm going to take my wire around the underneath of the pearl and pull it in, like that. Just done that a couple of times, and that keeps it nice and tightly aligned. And then bring my wire back underneath my heart and out again. And so what I would recommend for this project is just to have some kind of pattern forming. So when you've got a big pearl like that, you need something reasonably big alongside it. So I'm going to take one of these 6mm bicones and just thread that on. Again, bearing in mind that that is going to, where does bicone want to go basically? So I'm just going to hold on to it and pull the wire around. And then just pull that wire up, back around. And then with these larger beads, I always like to take the wire around the underneath of them, because it just holds them in place a little bit better. And then take the wire, always taking the wire back through again, and then I'll begin my next bead. So I'm going to take one of these creamy coloured pearls, thread that on. So it's a kind of random pattern that's happening here. And just keep pushing. If the pieces want to slide down, just pull them back up and get them back in line with one another. And make sure that you're getting your wire tight as well. What you don't want is it all sort of sagging and bagging underneath. So just taking that around that pearl and back up again. So now it's time for me to add a smaller bead alongside there. So again, when I was pulling, the wire got a little bit kinked. So I'm just using my nylon jaw pliers on that little kink. And then I think I'm going to take one of my tiny little pearls here. And what you'll find will happen is that the beads just kind of sit next to one another. And no two designs will be the same. So you'll do this in whatever kind of pattern you like. And yours will look completely different to mine. But all we're doing is we're basically wrapping lots of little beads around this heart and really encrusting it. So I'm going to take one of the 4mm bicones next. And just doing this intuitively, really. And carry on wrapping. Now, what you do want to do is where we have the little curvation of the heart, so it's going dipping down and then coming up the other side. This is the part where we're going to create a bail for this piece for it to hang on the rosary chain. So don't put too many beads around here, around that little curve part at the bottom, because you want to leave some space for that. Come up the other side, and then I think I'll have another small pearl. So I'm just going to keep on adding my little pearls, my crystal bicones, and my larger pearls. I'm going to bring my other piece back and just show you what the finished article looks like, just so that you can see what I've done. So you can see, just to balance it out, we've got those larger pearls. So I've used the 10mm pearl there, and then at various points it just creates symmetry. It's nice to have slightly smaller pearls near the bottom and near this top left hand curve of the heart. And then I've added in, sort of peppered the design with the grey pearls and the cream pearls, and then we've got the different sizes of Swarovski bicone crystals around there, and then the smaller beads. If you had it all small beads, it would look nice, but it wouldn't have that kind of vintage feel to it. And if you had all large beads, it might be too much, quite overpowering. So it's about, you know, just adding in a new feeling and sensing where you'd like to have those different beads distributed. But make sure that you cover as much of the metal on the heart, so that really is really taken on all of those lovely crystals and all that sparkle. It's beautiful. So the next part of the project I'm going to show you is how to attach your bail. So I've wire wrapped all of those different beads all around the heart, so it's now ready for the bail. So before you do that, you can just squash the beads down, you know, so just so that they're more around the center, and have them exactly how you want them. And then we're going to take a piece of wire. So I've got about, I would say roughly about 12 centimeters of wire, and I have put 10 of my 4mm Swarovski pearls onto there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that they're fairly close to the center of the wire, and then I'm just going to make a little oval shape with that, and I am going to just twist the wires at the bottom of the pearls like that, just so that they are together there, and they're going to hold their position like that. So that is my bail, and then I just need to attach it to this little dipped curve part on my pendant. And the bail is going to be facing that way, so that the loop is coming in from the side, and we can thread the rosary chain through there. So remember I said to you to leave a little space so that bail can get through there. So we've got a little space in the dip. So first of all, I'm going to take one end of the wire. You can use your pliers to do this, it's just easier to feed the wire through. And then take your other side of the wire and take that up through the middle. And then you're going to take those two pieces of wire and wrap them around. Just push that out of the way slightly. It just wants to go beyond that pearl there, so I want to make sure it's dead center. And then you're just going to take wires. I'll do one at a time, it's easier. So I'm just wrapping that wire around 2 or 3 times. I'm going to get my wire cutter pliers and just snip it off. I'm going to do the same thing with this side of the wire. Just push it to one side. And the other thing that you can also do is to just wrap the wire around the base of the bail as well. Make sure that it is the base of the bail that you're doing it around, because you've got all these other beads in the way, so that they can get a little bit tricky to maneuver around. And then when you've wrapped it enough, you're just going to snip off that little end of wire. Take your pliers and just push the wire in. You can tuck it behind some of the other pieces of wire and make sure that it's, run your finger over it and make sure that there's nothing sticking out that's going to stick in your clothing. That one is a little bit sharp, so I'm going to push it down. And then I'm going to turn my bail, and then that is facing in the right direction that I want it to, so that I can thread my rosary chain through there. So now what I do with this rosary chain is it comes on 1 meter long length. It's unfinished, and that means it hasn't got any findings on the end of it. So you can choose the length of the chain that you want, so that how you want to wear this pendant. I like it really long, super long length, so I just keep the whole 1 meter long length of chain. And then you're just going to feed that through your veil. It should go through pretty easily. Just turn that round and then get that onto the center of your rosary chain. And then all that remains to be done is to add your lobster claw clasp to one of the little loops on the end of the rosary chain. So I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers, pick up my jump ring, open it up, and then pop it through the loop on the end of the rosary chain. And then I'm going to then add that to the end of my lobster claw clasp, where there's a little loop on the end of there, and just close that up securely. And then you don't need to add a jump ring to the other end. If you want to just use the loop that is already there on the end of your rosary chain, you can use that. Or what is really nice is you could actually pop the lobster claw clasp at any point on the chain and just have a little bit left over like that. So you can adjust the length of it then, but it's really simple to do. And there you have your pendant with its veil and its chain, and it's a really pretty design. It looks very nice for bridal. It's perfect for a Valentine's inspired project, but for any time of year in fact, and makes a really beautiful gift as well. I hope you've enjoyed seeing our tutorial, and I hope it's given you lots of inspiration to make your own Valentine's inspired pendant. Please do like and comment below and let us know what you thought of the tutorial. And we'd also love to see your makes, which you can share with us on our Facebook page. Just take a look at the show more section, because you'll see links to all of the products that I've been using in the tutorial today, and to loads of other jewellery making goodies on our website. Also, subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on future tutorials and product reviews. So we hope to see you again here very soon. Bye for now.